And we are here. A little bit of breaking news. It's your boy AP coming live from the Believe in LSU studio here in my home office in New Orleans. So, a little bit of breaking news this morning, well, late last night, as Jayden Daniels had sent over to LSU a cease and desist letter on August 5th. ESPN was able to obtain a copy of the letter last night and broke the news, I want to say into the late hours of the night. But the letter was sent over on August 5th as it was announced on that same day, which was the first day of fall camp, coincidentally, that DJ Pickett was going to be wearing number 5. Now, over the course of the past several months, behind the scenes conversations have been taking place, kind of letting Jayden Daniels know that this was going to happen. So this cease and desist is about the NIL rights that LSU has involving Jayden Daniels. And it's to a point to where now, because LSU has not appreciated him, from what I can gather, that he just wants to be left alone. He feels disrespected. I want to pull up the article really quick. And in the article, it says by Mark Slayball over at ESPN.com. It says the Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jayden's number to another player. Jayden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of LSU's legacy and would be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university. This is a very strange situation. LSU does not retire jersey numbers. The only football jersey number to be retired at LSU is Billy Cannon. Billy Cannon in the 1950s won a Heisman, won a national championship for LSU, and LSU did not get another Heisman Trophy winner for almost 60 years until Joe Burrow walked onto the field. And like Billy Cannon, Joe Burrow walked off with a Heisman and a national championship. 4 years later, Jayden Daniels walked off the field with the Heisman, but a 9-3 record in an unprecedented season, one that saw LSU have literally the best offense in the nation, producing second overall pick in Jayden Daniels and 2 first-round wide receivers in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. The offense was electric. The defense, on the other hand, was absolute garbage, ranking in the bottom 100s of the nation. It was bad. Had the defense been better, everybody assumes that LSU would have most likely been the odds-on favorite to win a national championship in that season. That's kind of the hangup that a lot of fans have when they find themselves having this dispute. They understand as to why Joe Burrow's number 9 is not issued because he walked through with a national championship and a Heisman. But that's kind of irrelevant from my point of view. LSU does not retire numbers. And I get not having anyone wear 29 or 5. In all honesty, I think that should be the standard. If you win a Heisman Trophy, your number deserves to be retired. It's not like a school is going to have 9 Heisman Trophy winners. LSU has 3 in less than 100 years. The concern with retiring jersey numbers, especially at a school like LSU, you run out of single digit numbers. I mean, look at the New York Yankees. They have no single digit numbers available. If LSU were to retire every single digit number, there's a name associated with almost every single number outside of 6 and 6, 8, and maybe 6 and 8. So you're talking about starting people off at number 10? And what if Sam Levitt comes in this season and has a Heisman Trophy year too, right? So now you're really capped. So, but I'm not the only one that feels like that. Former national championship quarterback Matt Flynn has said on his own radio show that any Heisman Trophy winner should have their jersey number retired. But the thing is, in 2007, LSU made a chartered rule stating that they will no longer retire any jersey numbers. Now, if you go to Death Valley, you will see names hanging along the ring of Tiger Stadium, and they will have a number by those names. For instance, my co-host, the legend himself, Charles Alexander, he has his name inside of Tiger Stadium hanging from the rafters, hanging on what LSU considers to be their ring of honor. What LSU does is they retire a player's jersey, but not the number. So that way the number can still be issued in circulation. Charles Alexander was honored last year with his jersey number being retired, well, with his jersey being retired, but his number was still being used. Mansour Delane actually was the wearer of number 4, and Mansour ended up becoming a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Should have won a Thorpe Award, but that's a conversation for another day. And even this year, Jackson Harris, wide receiver transfer from the University of Hawaii, is now wearing number 4. Bert Jones will have his jersey retired during the Texas game, but his number 7 is prominent across LSU history. The number 7 is featured across the most talented player on the roster. It is an honor to wear that number, but that number is not going to be next to Bert Jones's name in the Ring of Honor. Could you imagine if LSU has to retire the number 7? Takes the lore away from that. But I want you to understand, too, I understand why Jayden Daniels is upset, and he has every right to be. What Jayden Daniels was able to accomplish at LSU in his second season, in his final season, was unprecedented, rivaling only that of his peer in Joe Burrow. Had Jayden Daniels been able to go on and make it into the playoffs, he probably would have been able to match the stats that Joe Burrow put up in his same Heisman winning year. I mean, Jayden Daniels has a record against Florida right now that will probably stand the test of time, accumulating over 600 total yards of offense. I was in that game to witness that. It was a beautiful thing to see. But even in all of the accomplishments he made on the field, elevating the profile and the brand standard at LSU is something that cannot be discounted. And it's something that Jayden Daniels does hold in high regard. He knows he came to LSU looking for a chance to redeem himself after the struggles he had at Arizona State. And he capitalized on the moments that were presented in front of him. Unfortunately, the overall team success didn't match up to where he wanted things to end. So I get it. And then when you see the treatment of other predecessors who accomplished similar things as you kind of want to be held in that same regard. So for him, it's like, well, how come I'm being othered? This is a multifaceted issue. It's deeper than just the number, right? Personal feelings are involved. And then you have the DJ Pickett side of it. Here's this talented, incoming true freshman, a 5-star plus rated athlete who goes on to become a freshman All-American, was named as On3's Defensive Freshman Player of the Year last year. But he did so in a number that he wasn't expected to wear. This is a kid who said himself today in a press conference following practice. He's worn number 5 since he was 4 years old. He has a personal attachment for it. And now all the memories he has at his first year in college are going to be a little bit, off kilter because he did it in another number. And publicly, nobody was aware of it. When DJ was being recruited, all of his press photos, all of his official visit photos and media was presented to him with him in the number 5. But when he got to LSU and he got to on campus, he got the number 3, and nobody really thought much of it because we knew, or expected at least, for number 5 to never be issued again. Like I stated earlier, LSU does not retire numbers. But the number is available to be issued out. What we didn't know is that throughout his recruitment, DJ Pickett was being promised to get the number 5. It was the final concession he needed to secure his commitment to LSU. Brian Kelly, in this same article on ESPN, says as much. And I'm going to read that excerpt from this article. But there are a lot of layers in what he says in this quote that I want everybody to catch on to. Mark Slabaugh writes, former LSU coach Brian Kelly told ESPN on Wednesday that he believed number 5 was promised to Pickett during his recruitment. It's kind of indirectly insinuating that he didn't directly promise it himself, but he was understood that the number had been promised to him. Slabaugh goes on to say, but Kelly chose not to issue it to him because Daniels wasn't on board with Pickett wearing his numbers. Kelly's quoted as saying, I just wasn't prepared to do it until we got a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner, Kelly said. We didn't want to issue number 9, so you can't treat one differently from the other. LSU has retired jerseys of 4 of its former players: Billy Cannon, Tommy Casanova, Jerry Stovall, Charles Alexander, and then, like I said, Bert Jones. But only one of those numbers are officially retired, and that's Billy Cannon. But going back to the Brian Kelly quote, he said, I just wasn't prepared to do it until we got a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner. This can be taken in 2 ways. You already got him saying that Daniels wasn't on board with it. So why is he saying we want a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner? Is Kelly in between the lines stating that they reached out to Burrow's camp to see if he was going to be comfortable with his 9 being available for another incoming freshman or current teammate on LSU's roster? Because like he said, you can't treat one differently from the other. If 5 is on the back of DJ Pickett, then that means 9's got to be up for grabs too. There are a lot of wrong that's going on here. And I just want to say that right now, Lane Kiffin is not the villain. You can't make him out to be the villain in this situation. He has a job to win games. And from what I've been told, is that he did his research. I was in the press conference when Lane initially addressed this the Wednesday of the first fall practice. I was one of the first people to report DJ Pickett wearing number 5. When he was asked about it in a press conference, Lane stated, I did all my research, talked to family, talked to representatives. This kid was promised it, and I'm not sure why the previous staff did not follow up on that promise. And if you promise a kid to do something to get them to sign, you should fulfill that promise. Now, I've also been told that Jayden Daniels and his camp have had talks with LSU, with Lane, and with DJ Pickett. Obviously, Jayden Daniels and his camp have spoken with LSU. The conversations between Lane and Jayden Daniels, I'm not sure how they went. But from what I've been told around Jayden Daniels and DJ Pickett is that there's no bad blood between either. They have a mutual respect for one another. And they both understand the significance that the number has to each of them personally. This right now, just for Jayden Daniels, feels like he wants to be respected. But personally, I will say there should be a better way to go about doing this. All this is going to do is sow division amongst the fans. It's going to sow division amongst former teammates in the school. And right now, you just don't want that. This tarnishes a legacy. It gives people a reason to turn their back on you. And when it comes to having a jersey retired, that is an honor, not something that should be strong-armed. But I understand why Jayden Daniels is upset. But I also understand that LSU has every right to issue every single number that is available outside of number 20. So for anyone that has any plans of getting upset at any number hitting the field, please understand that until LSU changes the policies on how they handle the retirements of jersey numbers, anybody can get it. It's going to be interesting to see how this situation unfolds and what Jayden and his camp, what LSU and how they plan on reaching out and coming to some type of mutual agreement to make sure that one of their one of their most decorated, historic players feels as if though they are loved and appreciated by them. And that their name, their records, their accomplishments will be honored and remembered in a manner that's equal to every other legend that has walked across the halls of the campus of LSU. I know that there's a report out that Jayden Daniels has reached out to try to get his copy of the Heisman Trophy removed from LSU. I'm going to say right now, I don't believe that is to be the case. The Heisman Trophy Commission issues the original trophy to the athlete and then another copy to the school. That's just the way it works. So I don't see how or why Jayden would even make that. But people are going to run with reporting. And I'm asking you to just think a little bit. That's it. This is a wild situation considering we are less than 23 days away from game one. And now the sole focus for the rest of this week will be about number 5 instead of September 5. Look, Jayden Daniels is one of the greatest quarterbacks to have ever played at LSU. His legacy, no matter what takes place, will always be cemented as an LSU Tiger. The memories that we have, the season that we were able to share, both in 2022 and 2023 as fans, now as a member of the media, it was special. He was special. And I hope and pray for nothing but the best for him and for his Commanders team this season and that he stays healthy. I hope and pray for Lane Kiffin that he and his team can move past these off the field issues and, keep their heads focused and getting ready for September 5th in a week 1 matchup against Clemson. And I hope, that this issue doesn't bring down DJ Pickett, which from his press availability today doesn't seem like it has. So everything will keep moving forward. We'll keep believing in LSU, just like you. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share this out. YouTube, Believe in College Sports. Come on now, promote it. We out here. And then make sure you go download the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Believe in Network. Love you guys for all the support. Thank you guys again for this opportunity. And we will keep bringing you the latest involving around your LSU Tigers. Make sure that you're here next time when I bring in my guy, the legend himself, Charles Alexander. Thank y'all. We love y'all. We out.